welcome back to your Monday edition of Erongo Talk. I am Emerita Shikesho, your host and presenter for today. It's Monday again, which means we are here to bring you the latest. Well, it's almost 2 days, or it's 2 days before Namibia heads to the polls, and we are here to remind you to go vote. And in today's news, we are going to be looking at or talking to or getting to know Tati Nilenge, who's an author. We're also going to be looking at the celebration that happened in Walvis Bay of the Girls. So don't go far, we have so much more coming up.
Good day, viewers, and welcome to this week's edition of Erongo Talk. My name is Leandria Mouwer.
I am your host, Frida Moloto.
I am Emerita Shikesho.
I am Patricia Tanapo.
Now, as usual, we bring you the latest news, some sports news, as well as the weather and tides.
Om die eerste wen te kry is 'n goeie gevoel, man.
Is that the goal, Joy?
Yes, that is currently the goal.
Phenomenal. I feel nice, creative team.
To catch up for more news stories, visit our online channel, oneup2.com, or you can visit our website at www.erongo.com.na. Alternatively, you can check out our DSTV channel, channel 285, and on GoTV, channel 25.
Well, welcome back. It's 2 days before Namibia heads to the polling station across the country on Wednesday. Polling station will be open at 7 o'clock and will remain open until 21 hours. Of course, Network Media Hub is deploying journalists across the country to make sure that you are informed of what's happening. Make sure you keep your finger on our pulse with our chatbot at 085 785 6231 to access the latest, or check out our live broadcast election and watch on oneup2.com or on NTV. Well, and secondly, the 30th anniversary celebration of Walvis Bay Reintegrated Celebration have been postponed until February 2025 due to a venue dispute. This year, it's 30 years since Walvis Bay was reintegrated into Namibia. In 1994, after Namibia had already gained independence in 1990. You can read more on this on our weekly Erongo page, set to be published tomorrow in Republican, Namibian Sun, and Algemene Zeiken. Remember to check out our website, which is www.erongo.com.na, or you can also check out our social media pages. Don't go far, as up next we have an interview with Tati Nilenge.
Die alternatiewe Afrikaanse rockgroep Spoegwolf kuier weer op 5 April volgende jaar in die hoofstad as deel van die FNB Windhoek Woordfees. Nog beter is dat jy op Black Friday kaartjies vir die eksklusiewe vertoning teen 'n belaglike prys in die hande kan kry. Besoek eenvoudig eticket.my.na. Jy het nog nie 'n rockvertoning gesien as jy nie Spoegwolf in lewende lywe beleef het nie. Dis mal, propvol energie, propvol gees en propvol geraas.
This Black Friday, experience Namibia for less with Enjoy Travel. From the north, with deals in Katima Mulilo, Rundu, and Outju, to the breathtaking coastline of Swakopmund and the majestic sands of the dunes and the Kalahari. Enjoy amazing discounts, up to 60% off, on accommodation and dining. Don't miss out. Visit enjoy.my.na to grab your Black Friday deals today. Make your Namibian adventure unforgettable and affordable with Enjoy Travel.
I would say I started writing when I was very young, before I started studying journalism. When I was at school, I was already writing. I was forever in my room writing. I don't know, I'm someone that I like observing. I just sit and look at something, and then an idea comes up. I start writing. I like poetry, I like art. I just started writing. And I think I was a teenager by that time. My grandparents I remember my grandfather came in one day and he's like, are we treating you bad? I'm like, why? I don't know. What are you writing? Are you writing suicide notes? I'm like, no, I'm writing stories. And I would share these stories with my grandfather. He also became involved. He would ask me, so what's the next chapter? So what happened to this girl? What happened to that girl? So I started nurturing this whole writing thing. And my friends would be playing outside. I would still be writing. Sometimes my grandma would come in and say, go play. I'm like, no, I'm not going to play. I'm writing something, my next chapter. So when I got to university, I already knew I wanted to be a journalist. A few women started writing stories, and we compiled this book. It's called Between Yesterday and Tomorrow. I'm even forgetting. Between Yesterday and Tomorrow. So what we write is we write about women's issues in Namibia. You know, it was like different tribes trying to write about gender-based violence. This thing started a long time ago, gender-based violence. Yes. Started talking about gender inequality, marriages, early marriage, all of these things. So we were writing stories about what happened to young girls, what happened in marriages, so this is what we wrote. And then I think the following year we wrote another one. And then we also wrote an HIV/AIDS book. So this is where all my stories actually started, apart from the short stories that I used to write when I was younger. So yeah, this is where I started. Oh, I love children. I love children. I love education. I have an education center at the back of my house where I recruit young people to teach others, you know, after school. It's an after school center. So I think I met this little girl, Pewa, that is at my center. She goes to my center, and she came one day, you know, and just asked me, when do you write your next story? And I asked her, I'm like, what do you mean? No, I want you to write another story. I'm like, what story? So I didn't realize that she had read these stories.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she was I think she was grade 5. Yeah, and I'm like, no, I write news, but I do write news. I write news every day. She's like, no, like the other stories. And then she showed me this book. And I'm like, oh, okay, wow, I forgot about that. But what would you like me to write about? Write about me. I'm like, okay, what about you? She started developing this whole storyline of, you know, the other time when we went to the beach, you know, we saw dolphins, we saw seals, why don't we write about the ocean? And then these books can go out to communities, like rural communities where children don't know about the ocean. They don't know about Wolfish Bay. I'm like, this is a good idea. So I took her out on a boat cruise. We wrote Pewa's Ocean Adventures. That is it. So what I did is I took pictures of her, you know, when she was amazed seeing a seal, how she was amazed seeing a dolphin, whatever excitement that was. I took pictures of her, and then we developed a storyline, and Pewa's Ocean Adventure was born. It was so popular among all young people, you know, at her school, everywhere. And we decided that, okay, this is not enough. Let's go on with Pewa's Namibian Safari. This one speaks about the Namibian desert, yes. Speak about Swakopmund, Walvis Bay, what is it? The desert, camels, whatever else is happening at the coast. So we decided to go on with Pewa's Namibian Safari. I'm a Christian, first of all, by the grace of God. I'm a Christian. So I like coming to the beach. So there was this day that I was just sitting there looking at the waves, looking at the boats and everything. And, you know, it was a stormy day. It was a very stormy day. So I could see this little boat, you know, going up and down, up and down. And I was like, wow, it looks like this boat is in trouble. And that thought just came. I'm like, God, it looks like the storms of life, yes. You know. Why do we have storms of life? You know, why do we go through storms? What is this whole thing? We are children of God. We are born again. But we don't understand, like myself, I don't understand life. Why do we go through storms? And God started speaking to me, you know, all these thoughts that started coming. I was like, wow, you know, because God said, this is a stormy day, but come back tomorrow. It's like, why would I come back tomorrow? It's like, no, come back tomorrow. So when I came, I returned the next day. I found the boat, the same boat, in calm waters. And I also found some dolphins jumping over the boat. I was like, wow, this is beautiful, different from yesterday. And God said, you see, weeping endures for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Do you see how calm it is today? This is me. I'm not the storm, but I can always promise you that I will get you through the storm. There will be a calm day. So I was just listening. I was like, wow, the still small voice. You know, I started writing this. I don't know how I wrote it. I have no idea. The only thing that I can say is that I didn't write it. God wrote it. I was just typing it because the things that were coming, I was like, God, I don't know these things. How is it that I'm writing these things? He said, no, it's not your book. It's my book. You're just the typo of it. Tell my people that I am with them in the storm. I am the still small voice. So this is how I wrote the still small voice. And I thought my assignment was done, actually. I thought my assignment was done. I printed it, I sold it. People called with their testimonies and everything. But then there was a day that I had a dream. A pastor came to me and he told me that you're not done. I'm like, what do you mean? You're not done. And I was like, what do you mean? They gave me a list with 10 titles on them. I'm like, what are these? Like, no, you're supposed to write another book. I said, no. It was too traumatic. It took a lot of time. I got tired. It was, this
Too much,
is it.
yeah.
He said, no, but God says you're not done. So, okay, I obeyed. I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to write about? It's like, he'll tell you. So when I woke up that day, I was like, God, what do you want from me? And suddenly the word came, the plan. I'm like, the plan, what plan? He said, tell my people that I know the plans that I have for you. It's plans to prosper you.
Yes.
According to Jeremiah 29:11. And again, I was amazed. I was like, God, what do I write about the plan? And suddenly he started giving me testimonies, you know, reminders of testimonies of how my friends got through situations, how I got through situations. You know, even though it's going stormy in your life, he has a plan for you. So the plan has testimonies on it, testimonies of my friends, my family members. This is just to strengthen you. And then I still thought I was done because I'm a journalist. I write news. I don't write books. I still thought I was done. And then one day, I was here thinking, I was looking at our young people, and I just realized that, you know, our young people in Wolfish Bay do not know where they come from. I was raised by my grandparents. They used to talk about the old location. My grandmother used to talk about her friends. She used to talk about all these wonderful things. And then it just dawned onto me that, why didn't you ask more? She passed away with all these secrets. Where did you come from? Where did your family line start from in Wolfish Bay? How did she come to Wolfish Bay? How did her friends come to Wolfish Bay? Because the younger generations do not know about Wolfish Bay. I just decided that, let me write a story. So this is how Wolfish Bay started. Wolfish Bay, our story. So what happened was that I interviewed some old people in this town. They're not here anymore. I only found 3 really old people. There's a woman, I think she's 95 years old now, and she remembers everything about the old location, how it looked like, how they moved from the old location to Quisip, to Naravo. She remembered how clean this town was. They still miss the clean town. So yeah, so I wanted people to remember their days. I wanted them to laugh. There are jokes about my mom and her friends, how they used to get into trouble. They are, yeah, so people are laughing about these stories and everything. And actually, the good thing about this is when you meet young people, like in town, and they're like, wow, I read your book. So there was no Quisip Moon. I'm like, no, there was no Quisip Moon. So we lived in an old location, yeah. And then, you know, it prompted these young people to go out and go ask their grandparents for stories, you know. And what's your story, Grandma? What's your story, Auntie? You see, this is why I wrote Wolfish Bay, our story. And the other thing is, that is so surprising me, I never liked history. I never liked history. At school, you won't tell me about history. I dropped it. I didn't like history. But after writing this story, I discovered that I wrote a history book. Imagine, I wrote a history book and I never liked history. So this was actually very interesting. So this is my story.
Be limitless with Phoenix 8. A reimagined design for limitless performance, Phoenix 8 has evolved, featuring either an AMOLED display or an always-on MIP display with a solar charging lens. Phoenix 8 now gives you the choice of spectacular color and contrast, or even greater battery life. And to further amplify its rugged design, Phoenix 8 is now equipped with a rugged sensor guard and leak-proof buttons to protect essential sensors. Phoenix 8 is fitted with an integrated speaker and microphone, freeing you to control aspects of your watch with your voice. Taking it a step further, phone-free voice commands help expand your capabilities when exploring. Extreme battery life gives you unrivaled freedom to explore or train without needing to charge each night. Vast improvements to its integrated mapping capabilities allows for dynamic round-trip routing on runs. Simply set your target distance and go. Phoenix 8 will guide you. And Phoenix 8 allows for sport-specific strength workouts, providing incredible training to help improve performance. Be limitless with Phoenix 8. Only from Garmin.
Today on Tourismus, we visit the beautiful town of Henties Bay, situated on the west coast of Namibia. We pop in at the Strandwolf Sea View self-catering apartments created by husband and wife Gustav and Elicia Dreyer. It offers affordable, modern sea view accommodation in Henties Bay. Built in 2023, it features 5 fully equipped 2-bedroom units. One of the owners, Gustav Dreyer, tells us more.
Die idee het begin basies toe ek en my vrou 'n bottel rooiwyn gedrink het en ons besluit het wat ons met die erf gaan doen. Ja, en toe het ons gereken dat saam self-catering in Henties Bay, daar's baie plekke, maar daar's baie min seefront self-catering wat bekostigbaar is vir almal. Het ons met die idee gekom dat ons 5 2-slaapkamer self-catering eenhede bou, almal seefront, wat almal dit 'n fantastiese uitsig. En ja, en dit is bekostigbaar vir almal. So wat op die oomblik in Henties Bay beskikbaar is groot huise of in die dorp self. So hierdie is baie uniek. Dis min plekke wat vir jou kleinerige plekke gee, seefront wat meeste mense kan bekostig. Ja, natuurlik soos Afrikaanse name is uniek. Ons het baie gedink oor die naam en ek sal nie al die verskillendes wat ons oorweeg het noem nie. Was 'n paar snaakses en 'n paar goeies gewees. En my vrou het eintlik met die naam opgekom. Ons het een oggend gaan dra van Walvis Bay en toe het hulle 'n klomp strandwolwe langs die see gekry en toe het ons besef dit moet die naam wees want dit is uniek, dit is Afrikaans en vir die buitelanders is dit ook iets wat hulle sal aantrek want hulle kom vir Namibia se wildlife en ja, so dit is maar ons op die naam gekom het. Nou, ek is 'n bourekenaar van beroep, ek het nog steeds 'n praktyk in Windhoek wat ek 'n vernoot in is. Dan bou ek ook self, so ek het ook self die konstruksie gedoen van die strandwolf. My vrou is 'n sonograaf, sy het daar ook haar eie praktyk in Walvisbaai wat sy sonars doen dis nou alles swangerskappe, skouers, enige iets. Nee, en dit is baie lekker. Dit is vakansie, dit is nog nie die warboel van Swakop nie. So jy kan hier kom en ontspan, lekker vuur aansteek, uitsig geniet. Maar ek sal sê ons slogan is Feel the Ocean. As jy hierso staan op die balkon, dan waai die wind en jy ruik die see, jy hoor die see, jy voel letterlik of jy by die see is. Dis die verskil as jy in die dorp is of jy op die see is. Ja, dit sou ek my en natuurlik ons goeie diens. Alles is skoon, alles is netjies. Ja, wel ek sal dankie sê vir al die goeie mense wat ek hier ontmoet het, die mense wat ons in diens het hierso is lokaal. En ek kan nie kla nie, ons het baie goeie diens by hulle gekry. Ja, kom ons sê, ons kyk daarna, maar daar is nog nie definitiewe planne op die oomblik nie. Beste akkommodasie in Henties Baai, self-catering op die oomblik. Baie dankie vir die geleentheid dat julle vir my kom onderhoud voer het mee.